This is David Grigg.
Hello, Mr. Grigg. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fair, I guess. Could be doing better. I don't know what's in that water yet, still. So I'm not really doing that good, you know.
Well, from the spring.
Yeah. I mean, it's saturated my whole place. I haven't really been out there messing around because I'm a little fearful for what the next step of this guy's could possibly do. You know. I mean,
in the video, I'll be completely honest with you. In the video, I'm not seeing signs besides some little dead grass there, but I'm not seeing signs for it getting down into that water to, in concentrations to kill the fish. I'm just being honest with you. I feel the reason those fish died was because of oxygen deprivation.
No, that's not any scientific basis.
I've done this for 15 years.
I know, and I've done it for the last 5 years in the very same category of the water, and the fish died from a chemical. Did you see the green slime and the fuzzy bubbles?
That's not green slime. That's basically iron oxidizing bacteria and also just sediment from that. There was no kind of like...
Did you see the green fluid that was in those ponds? That was in the video of with the white bubbles all over the top of it, and it smelled like sewage.
I couldn't tell you what it smelled like.
I know, but you've seen the green sewage-looking water, like it just been treated in a swimming pool, like you just poured chlorine in a swimming pool, or it was fecal. It was disgusting. It was abnormal. Has nothing to do with the heat index.
Well, I'm just saying there were your plastic lined ponds. There's nothing going to survive in that.
What do you mean your plastic lined pond? Nothing's going to survive in it.
Well, clearly the water had to get hot, and the fish had to have oxygen deprivation.
That's not why the little baby fish died.
Well, why did they die?
Because there was a chemical film on the water. I didn't catch all of it on the photos. I didn't. I caught what I could catch before I drained the ponds. You expect me to answer... You're not even going to do a due diligent investigation of the dump site. And your rebuttal is you think they just died of natural causes?
I can't see where anything is getting to surface water.
He dumped the chemicals in the ground at the...
Okay, where does it run down and go to the surface water?
Under the ground.
So he's had to dump
a ton of stuff.
Hundreds of gallons for that to happen.
I don't know what he dumped. Whatever he dumped affected everything. So you're just going to dismiss my complaint without doing any kind of scientific analysis of the area firsthand with a team of state employees or whatever it takes to really investigate this. Has anybody physically been to the address and done an investigation?
No, we haven't.
Then how are you telling me it's oxygen deprivation? You weren't there. It's abnormal. It just occurred. There was a film on the water that did not touch the edge. It just stopped, and the little fishies were putting their little head up there trying to get air. And I drained it, put them in the bottom pond, which I've raised dozens and dozens and dozens of successfully live fish that can survive and thrive until this year when I watched the neighbor walk to the bushes where the chemical container is upside down, Mr. Schneider, and all the grass in that little clover of weeds is dead. A chemical substance covered the top layer of the pond, killed all the little baby fish, and then when it rained, it turned it all into mud, and then 2 weeks or however long it took it to settle, then it was all green like my video evidence shows, with chemical bubbles all over it and throughout it, and it all smelled like fresh sewage. I don't understand your logic, just dismissing it to the heat because you think you have a knowledge of fish in a plastic bag. I don't understand what you're becoming argumentative. I want you to take your resources that the state residents pay you and do a new. Well, I don't understand why you're not talking to me with any sense or respect. You haven't replied to my writings. You haven't replied. You haven't acted. The sheriffs haven't acted. If I have,
You said you were going to send me the email, and I viewed your video, like I said I would.
And you just dismissed it. You say it's just natural heat that would kill the fish, and the plastic bag is the plastic liner of the ponds is inadequate to raise fish. That's what you just told me. You said nothing would survive in a plastic pond, a plastic lined pond is what you just told me.
I said oxygen deprivation.
There was no oxygen deprivation. That is not the issue. The issue is chemicals. This is...
So you ran a test and realized...
I don't have to run a test to have common sense to understand that I've successfully raised these fish in this exact same environment for a consecutive 5 years. And there was no issue until that gentleman kneeled down at them weeds and did whatever he did. Like 2 days later, it just started filming up in my ponds, killing the baby rainbow trout. Then it flooded, washing that stuff into my lower ponds. And then when the water settled in the lower ponds and I could see into the water without no mud, it was a green sewage water with suds and evidence of massive chemical dumping. I've done tap tests to the best of my ability, and there is definitely bacteria in the water. And I can't get you guys to do anything.
I'm just only telling you, I'm not seeing evidence of massive chemical dumping.
You're not seeing evidence because nobody has investigated that has any kind of responsibility to the residents of Watauga County, North Carolina. What do you want me to send you the picture of the test tubes where I ran the test for the bacteria?
Well, any water is going to have bacteria in it unless it's been disinfected.
Well, this is chemical dump. You don't see evidence of chemicals. So the water in your streams turns green naturally.
Well, if it's got algae in it, it will.
This is not an algae-ridden pond. This is not green water. You're talking about algae. Algae is different than green water. Why are you making an excuse for this gentleman? Why are you not...
I'm not
why is your office in charge of water quality and equality in our environment, and you are just dismissing, like everybody has done? I mean, I don't quite understand where you and all the government employees cannot recognize that you need to do your due diligence when people are trying to, when people are dumping chemicals. It's on your desk and you just dismissing it What am I supposed to do? I'm a resident. I'm not a PhD, and I don't understand anything about what you just said. It's oxygen deprivation. That is just a way for you not to do your your job, your duty to secure the water equality for Green Valley Elementary School and every other household going up the valley. I don't understand where you're going to just dismiss it and say it was oxygen deprivation that killed the fish. Nothing will live in a plastic-lined pond. That is absurd. Now, are you going to do anything to remedy the fact that Mr. Gene Reese is dumping chemicals into his backyard directly involving the watershed of the neighbors?
So you've seen him dumping it?
I seen him walk out to the weeds and then kneel down, then walk away, and then I seen one empty chemical container upside down in those weeds, and then a bunch of dead grass in the same patch of weeds. That is pretty well conclusive evidence. Huh?
There's also a bunch of live grass in there as well.
A live grass on the outsides of the dump site? Why is there dead grass there? Why are you making excuses?
I'm not making excuses.
There is a chemical dump being reported to your company, the state company. What's the next step?
Well, the first step was to see it like something getting dumped into surface water.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't catch the neighbor walking through his yard dumping this shit. He dumped it in the grass in his yard that is a direct contributory to the whole bank is nothing but a river. Everywhere you dig in those yards, you hit water.
Well, that's the case anywhere you go.
Well, that might be the case anywhere you go, but somebody dumping chemicals into the water. How can you guys not take this seriously as a employee of the state?
Taken this seriously.
Well, you haven't done an investigation. You're not telling me that we couldn't find any contaminants in the water. Nobody has tested the water. I'm not worried about the real estate value like other people might be. This needs to be investigated, and for somebody to have to beg and grovel for a state employee to do their due diligence to secure the safety of the community is absurd, coming from your office as well as my prior encounters with the sheriff's office, which I'm fixing to have to deal with again. Because nobody's doing their due diligence. The magistrate laughs, threatens to arrest me if I want to take papers out on this guy. And now I think I need to put a restraining order on him so he can't touch the spring head. Because it's got my deed, has it in it.
Well, that's out of my jurisdiction, that part is.
But chemical dumping is under your jurisdiction to investigate.
If it's not reaching surface water.
It's reaching surface water. It killed the fish in the pond where the spring comes out. Just because he dumps it on dirt doesn't make it not a chemical dumping into the watershed. Just because he dumped it a few feet away from the waterhead itself doesn't mean he didn't contaminate the water with his direct actions. He's been doing this for 20 years. You guys are kicking the can, not investigating it. The evidence is not going to go away. When the due diligence is applied by the power of the state, the evidence is going to surface, and the guy that belongs in prison. That's just all it's to it. You're poisoning your neighbors. Multiple people in that very area have died from cancer and were perfectly healthy before they moved into that house. That's absurd that the Mr. Snyder just wants to dismiss with every plausible avenue at his disposal other than do a prudent investigation with every tool at his disposal. Are you there, Mr. Snyder?
I'm listening.
Well, I ain't got no more to say. I can't say no more. I can write it up, but I don't think that will get you to properly motivated. I don't understand what the whole what's wrong with your mindset that you can't perform your due diligence. You're just dismissing it. You haven't done one physical motion of gathering evidence.
So you want us to come out there and look at that spot where and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I hope so.
And there's going to be no evidence that it's.
You're just going to look at it. You're not going to take the soil. You're not going to do anything, but you're just going to look at it.
That's not what we do. That's not what we do.
Then what?
We don't go somewhere and just grab a soil sample where somebody said, well, they dumped something here.
Well, what do you do? Look at the place and walk away after Mother Nature's reclaimed it months later? You're hoping? Is that what you do? You just wait till Mother Nature reclaims it and say, oh, well, we investigated, send me my salary.
No, I mean, when we have, like, proper
what? Notification?
We can see evidence like where it's running into.
If you don't respond and the health department don't respond and what's that other place that's the environmental thing? I can't think of it right now. But if you guys don't respond, if the health department won't come out there and take up a water sample out of these ponds full of sewer water, I don't understand. What you didn't do your job then or that? I've been calling every office in North Carolina, from the health department to I don't know what the name of that group is. EPA, what is it?
EPA?
Yeah, EPA. I had to go back to The Simpsons to get the EPA. I've called everybody, and I called them over exactly a month ago. And I have no answers from the state. I've run some tests from Lowe's. But you know what? I'm not a physicist. I'm not on the payroll of the state to defend the well-being of the community, to provide equality in our environment. I shouldn't be getting poisoned. I shouldn't have to talk to the personnel like redundantly in this manner to get a prudent response, a thorough investigation, an analysis, and then, I mean, I don't know what everybody wants, but I'm an individual person. What am I supposed to do? I called all kinds of private contractors. They're like, oh, you can't afford us. And they didn't even tell us the price number.
To do what?
To test the water. Someplace out of Avery County. I don't know.
But this is the thing. We don't go out and just test the water just because someone thinks something is going on.
I have evidence of chemical containers being still in the grass where they were turned upside down. I have evidence. I witnessed the next door neighbor walk right over there to those weeds. Do I have? I have evidence that Gene Reese walked over there to them bushes just 2 days before my water turned contaminated, kneeled down, stood up, walked away. The bushes where the empty chemical containers have been found and video documented, and dead foliage from current applications of some kind of toxic chemical.
I mean,
it's a toxic chemical that it takes to kill grass.
That spot to see if we see chemicals getting to the surface water.
Well, I guess you need to do something. I don't understand why you haven't done nothing. I've let you have a whole week since I talked to you last Friday. And you haven't even emailed me any conclusive action taken. So I don't understand where I'm supposed to go, but the Watauga County Health Department laid it on your offices, and then random people answer your phone, refuse to identify themselves, and then I'm supposed to just take that as you're not being civil, calling us and repeating yourself. I'm being very civil, and I'm looking for the civil government employees to apply their due diligence, because the authority of the people are asking for it.
I mean, I'll come out there and look at the spot.
I would hope so.
Okay, well, we'll do that.
When is your time frame?
Send me the address, please, and we will come out there and look at that. Look where the chemical dumping is happening, and just send me the address, and we'll come look at that.
Well, I will do that. I will have to confirm I got the address, because
just email me the address.
It just take me a little while. I got to review a recording to get the. I don't want to send you on a false goose chase.
That's fine.
It will be immediately. I got you. We got an email connection. Thank you, and I will do that immediately.
Thank you.
Sending that to Mr. Schneider. Why they want to be so fucking ignorant?
Wait while I transfer your call.
Clerk's office, this is Davis.
I was just talking to a young lady trying to find out which magistrate's on duty today. Was it Justin, whatever his last name is? If it is, I don't need to bother coming up there. But if it's the other guy, I might come up there and talk to him.
I don't believe there's a magistrate by the name of Justin that works in Watauga County.
I don't know what his name is. He's bald-headed. He's got a J in his name.
Okay, we actually have the magistrate in our office right now, which is why she was not picking up her phone.
Okay, so it's a lady, so it's not the same gentleman. Okay.
No, sir.
Do I need to give her a few minutes and call back? I'm kind of getting in spotty reception signal.
She's right here in our office if you would like to speak with her.
I would.
She's actually the head magistrate, too.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yes, this is the magistrate.
Yes, ma'am, this is David Grigg. Who am I speaking with?
Magistrate Church.
Church, Miss Church. Okay, so I witnessed my neighbor crouching down on some weeds, and then just a couple of days later, some chemicals started floating up on top of the water. And I want to put a restraining order on him because I got spring rights to his spring. The spring on that property is deeded in my property, and I want to put a restraining order on Mr. Reese to keep him away from the water, period, until we figure out what alien chemicals are in this water.
Okay.
I'd like to press charges for assault and just take it to the court because I witnessed the guy at the spot that the dumping has been documented and found.
so that's not going to be assault.
It's not an assault to pour poison in somebody's water to try to kill them? It
No.
sounds like assault to me.
He has to physically injure you.
Well, when you're sick from the water that you're drinking at your house because somebody put poison in it, that's an injury.
What did you say he put in your water, and how do you know he put it in your water?
I watched him put walk up to the weeds, kneel down, then stand up and walk away. I walked over to the weeds and looked to see what was in the weeds, and there was an empty chemical container upside down in the weeds and a lot of dead foliage from where there's been constantly pouring more stuff in the weeds.
Okay.
Running down into my water.
Your property.
Yeah, I got water rights to his spring house. And
Okay, but is it on your property is what I'm asking you.
where the dump site is not on my property. It is on the water spring. It's right below his spring house. He's dumping poison in the water below the spring house.
And you said his spring house. Is
Our
it
spring house.
that
Our
he-
spring house.
Okay, so he's on that spring as well.
He is. He's above the dump site. The spring house is
Okay.
above the dump site. I have a well as well. And the spring runs down right to the water of where the top of the well is.
Okay. So in order to do anything about that, where do you live in the county or?
Yeah, I'm in
city?
Watauga.
Okay, so you would have to contact the sheriff's office and get them out there and let them and look.
They haven't done anything.
Intentionally doing this.
I have got them out here, but they haven't said anything in a month. I've been calling till I'm blue
So
in the
this
face.
happened today.
It happened on approximately June 28th, and it was discovered to have poisoned and killed a bunch of fish by the 11th, and I've been calling nonstop every agency. Everybody keeps putting it off on this other guy, and this is a criminal matter. This guy is vindictive, and he's been harassing me. You got a list of how many times he's called law enforcement to terrorize me and my family. He's not made an earnest offer to buy the place the whole time I've been there. I think that's what he's after. He's never going to get it. And the point being is this is assault, and I witnessed him at the spot where the dumping has been. Not just riding around on his lawnmower, but walking up to the weeds, kneeling down, and then walking away really quickly. Like he went out there and he just emptied his palm of his hand into the weeds there and whatever. You know, he's basically poisoning us. Hey, my cousin was healthy. He moved in this house, lived here for 15 years, died of cancer, ate plumb up with it. The dude, Mr. Reese's wife, died of cancer, ate plumb up with it. I was sick as a dog for the last 2 years. I've been gone for a month. I feel 100 times better, and I'm willing to say that it's because I'm not drinking or showering in the water. Now, I'm here for the first time this week to get some stuff out of my garage. And I was wanting to see about doing something that might get the ball rolling, because nobody seems to really care that this guy's pouring chemicals in the water above an elementary school and a whole community. I've been begging you guys to do your due diligence, and nobody seems to want to do it. Are you still there? Whatever, she hung.
Clerk's office.
Yeah, I was looking to call the magistrate's office, but I can't pull it up on the internet.
Sure, let me transfer you down there.
Not a word.
And would you like their number just in case you get disconnected?
What is their number?
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
828
Uh-huh.
268
Uh-huh.
6619.
Thank you. 6619.
I'll transfer you down there.
Magistrate's Office located at 133 North Water Street, Boone, North Carolina. If this is an emergency, hang up and dial 911. Magistrates cannot provide legal advice. Press 1 for inmate information, including immigration detainers, condiments, and inmate visitation. 2 for marriages. 3 for involuntary commitments. 4 for traffic tickets, restraining orders, court dates, and small claims actions. Press 5. You must contact the Clerk of Court's office at area code 828-268-6600 for traffic tickets, court dates, and continuances. Magistrates only issue domestic violence protective or restraining orders after hours. Between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., you must contact the Clerk of Court's office at area code 828-268.
Two 6919. Keypad. Damn, motherfucker. No, I didn't dial fucking 16. I dialed 19. Stupid fuck. 828-268-6619. Motherfucker. Damn, I get tired of the runaround.
Office